Yo, what's happening, people? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Premier League debate show. And we have got a lot to talk about, man. There's been some interesting developments in the last hour or so. Liverpool might be in the mud again, man, and it's beautiful to watch. But we've got a lot to discuss. We got man like Errol in the building. Errol, how are you, my friend?
All good, brother. All good. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about this news. So we'll get into it. But yeah, I'm all good, bro. We're chilling.
Come on. Absolutely. We love to see him, man. We got man like Daps in the building. Daps, all blue. You know what I'm saying? To sky blue. Doku's announced. You know
Has
what
it
I'm
been
saying?
announced?
How are
Has
you, my
it?
friend?
Has it been?
Yeah,
Has it
yeah,
been
yeah.
announced? Has it? I
Just
was about
announced
to
right
check.
now.
I knew he'd had his medical and everything. I was just waiting for it to be announced. Yeah. Another one. Still got to get two more over the line. Or we don't have to, but I think we'll get two more over the line. But yeah, man, I'm good.
Yep.
Everything's hunky dory this side of Manchester, bro. That's for sure.
Right, listen, I don't want to talk about my side of Manchester, but we'll get into that one. Newcastle, I can see there the Geordie side again, not too bad as well in that aspect. Disappointing result against Man City, but you know what? A lot to build on. But how are you, my friend Pete?
All good, all good. Good to be back chatting with the boys again this week. Should be an interesting one, as always.
Did you go on Saturday, Pete?
No.
I was going to shout you to see if you were there or not. But then, by the time I thought about shouting you, I thought you probably want to hear from me. So,
yeah, big up, man. And we got Lee in there. I don't know if he's in a multi-universe over there, but Lee, can you hear us? Do you know us? You know what I mean? What's going on, man? How have Arsenal got good internet? What's going on? You're not upgrading your internet lately.
What, is it not working again? Oh, I don't even know what's going on, bro. I don't know.
Oh, you need to move into one of them mansions, Lee. Can't be having all these
I'm
mansions
in a
and not
mansion.
living in
I
them.
don't know what's going on, bro. Listen, let me check. I'll go on one sec.
Yeah, no stress, man. But let's move on to the Mo Salah situation. It's not looking good for Liverpool fans right now. What started as rumours came with concrete sources, and that was that David Ornstein reported that Al Ittihad have a concrete interest in signing Mohamed Salah from Liverpool. Saudi Pro League want to make a club renewed attempt to recruit 31-year-old Egyptian international forward. Clear at this stage if a move will materialise. And their Liverpool stance is that remains Salah is not for sale amid Al Ittihad pursuit. Listen, there's no smoke without fire. It is real. It's not from some source called, Reluctivo or something like that. You know what I mean? You know, them dodgy sources. Like, this is a genuine source. Like, are you worried, Errol, sorry. Or is this, again, just something that, yeah, listen, don't worry about it?
Bro, I've got concrete interest in marrying Gal Gadot. Does that mean that shit's going to happen? No. Did you get me? Like, everybody wants a Wonder Woman in life, bro.
You got the Saudi money.
I ain't got deep pockets. I ain't got them kind of pockets. But, the thing is, with this, as soon as, and again, Liverpool fans aren't soft, as soon as Saudi money's been discussed and you can see them getting their hands in all sorts of pies across European teams, picking out the players that they want, starting this whole process, announcing that they're going to make about $17 billion worth of investment before 2030. We knew that the writing was on the wall where one individual was concerned, and that's Mo Salah. And I don't think it's a big secret. A lot of the Liverpool lads have already been kind of in talks, or some of them have already went over there. We've already seen that this summer. So from my perspective, it's not a surprise to me. The thing that's probably surprising, and I'll bring Peter in a sec because it's quite funny actually. The reality is this summer Salah can't go at this stage of the transfer window. It leaves Liverpool not enough time to fully operate and get in an adequate replacement. And let's have it straight. I don't think there's going to be an adequate replacement right now for Mohamed Salah. We got very lucky in the way that he's performed. Saeed, I understand why you want him to be sold to the South, man. He's been piping you lot home and away for the last 4 or 5
seasons. You know why then?
So I know why.
I need this guy gone, mate. I need him out of Manchester, out of Liverpool, and I don't want to see Mo Salah again. This guy has destroyed my football club. I need him gone.
The interesting thing is, it's coming out now. from obviously another Saudi team the week before with or the week.
Don't give me
No.
that.
I'm just saying, Pete. I'm just saying the week that we're about to play Saudi-owned Newcastle United. They're trying to stir the pot. And I rate it. I rated the mind game.
Wow.
All of that, bro. I can understand. But the reality is, Mo Salah, if Liverpool had any sense, if FSG had any sense, Mo Salah, and the statement from the club, so any of the Liverpool fans in the chat, and any of the rivals, they need to hear this as well. The stance from Liverpool Football Club right now is he is not for sale yet. We could still get 100 mil for my man next summer, I firmly believe. So he has got a price, but I don't think Liverpool would be stupid enough to let him go this summer, this late in the window. It would be season suicide, in my opinion, and probably a lot of other Liverpool fans' opinions as well.
What does he want? What does he want?
There's probably no denying Salah probably does want to go and play over in Saudi Arabia, and I wouldn't blame him. I'm not saying I've got no contempt. I've got no ill will. If Salah wants to go over there and play and see out the last whatever couple of years, I couldn't give a rat's ass, to be completely honest with you. But he just can't go this season, and Salah isn't going to rock the boat to get to make a move, which is what's also been talked about. And his agent a couple of weeks ago, when the rumours first started to happen, also dismissed it and said, "Look, Salah would not have signed an extension if he was going to go this summer." So the conversations with the Saudis have probably been happening for about 12 months, and they're probably just working out the best way to get him out the club. But there could be something in the fact that playing Newcastle this weekend, just staring the pot, might get a few distracted Liverpool heads and fans and all the rest of it.
Look, if that helps you sleep at night, Errol, then
It
is fine.
It will.
You keep pushing that narrative, but you know, I told you, keep our club's name out of your mouth. I told you once, I'll tell you again. But what I'm going to say is that Salah has won everything at Liverpool that he needs to win. He could go quite easily, and I actually think he wants to leave. For us, and for a lot of clubs that are probably on the panel and watching right now, you probably think, why does he want to go to Saudi? He'll be a god over there. He would be an absolute god.
Biggest contract. He said he's going to get the biggest contract if he goes. He said he'll have a bigger contract than Ronaldo.
He is going to be a god there. And he could play until he was 50, and they would not care. They would absolutely worship the ground that he walked on. So, and he knows that. But the one thing I'll say is that you're probably right. It may well be all set for a summer move, but if he wants it this season and doesn't get it, is that going to impact his performances for Liverpool on the back of not that move? Because you've seen, I'm not saying Salah's that type of player. He seems like he's got the mentality and the maturity and the professionalism to ensure that he doesn't behave like that. But if he's desperate for that move and he doesn't get it, could it start having impacts on his performances? And we already know that Salah is a big part of your team, particularly in the attacking areas, clicking and working together.
Yeah. Big up Lewis for the raid. Nah, big up, man. Listen, there's no Mount talk here now. We're not talking about Mount until we talk about Salah. I need to delve into the Salah situation.
It makes sense. Like everything Pete said, it makes sense. It makes footballing sense. It's the money's there, the package, the culture, easily assimilation into it all. The fan base out there absolutely love him. I get it, and that's why I hold no ill feelings if that was to be the case. But I've got to look at it and protect Liverpool Football Club first and foremost. This isn't Salah FC. So as far as I'm concerned, the reality is Liverpool have got to do the best business for the team in this season. And the best thing that we can do is keep a player like Mohamed Salah. In the event that we don't keep him, I don't see as I said before, there's not a suitable replacement for him right now. So you're going to have a lot of money, and it's going to be an absolute massive gamble to say that you're going to get someone in that can fill his
also,
boots.
you keep an unhappy player. You keep an unhappy player
He's not unhappy though. He's not put a transfer request in. He signed an extension last year. He might be, but he's the highest paid player in the club right now. He's still making till, bro.
How much are you going to get over there? How much would he get over there?
And I get that, but that money will still be there. Just defer that shit for a year. They will still pay up to 100 M's next summer As long as he's still fit, no injuries, he'll still get. They're not going to turn around and say, if you don't come now, you're never going to come to Saudi. Are you mad? Are you
Look,
mad?
the
Also,
thing is,
you lot, I remind where you lot are though. You are in the Europa League. You don't
I get
have
that.
any sort of
Saudi
leverage.
aren't in anything.
Mo Salah.
Saudi aren't in jack shit.
Nah, but it don't
hold
matter.
on.
But you
The
are
thing
not
is,
the team that you used to be. Yeah, I mean, you're not that team
Mo
anymore.
knows that. Mo knows.
So-
Mo knows this season by the looks of him. Things right now, you ain't challenge him for anything. Maybe Europa
Maybe.
League, right?
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
and I swear I saw that he agreed personal terms. Yeah, but
Probably has.
Oh,
yeah,
swear down.
yeah. But here's the thing. He also
Oi.
did say though that he's not going to force a move. Right? He said he's not going to force a move, and I get that. Because ultimately, listen, all of us would. Any of us act like we wouldn't agree personal terms with them lot. We would. But
At the end of the day,
the
though,
biggest thing on this one,
we made Mohamed Salah without Liverpool Football Club.
yeah, agreed.
Mohamed Salah's a
But,
nobody.
bro,
so
listen,
he's still got to give us.
I hear you, but bro, the only person that can claim to have made me was my mum and dad. Like that real talk. Yeah, like a football club might have helped to increase my bank balance. My mum and dad made me. But the one thing I would say that the biggest thing to come out of this is, and I'll be very, very clear with this. I think if Salah goes, yeah, then Klopp will follow. Maybe not this season, end of the season. I think Klopp. I honestly believe that next summer with Ancelotti going, if Real Madrid come knocking, yeah, that is a knock. I know the Liverpool knock's supposed to bang, yeah, but that Real Madrid knock bangs differently, yeah. I think what it would be is if FSG allowed Salah to go, Klopp would go, I've had enough. That's it, yeah.
Do you know what?
This is the one where I think FSG had to. I think Klopp probably looked at FSG. Literally, you can imagine it in a room, looking at them, going, "You better not. Like, you let this one go, and
Facts.
I'm done now because
But the writing's on the wall. I already said that though. That's the writing is on the wall. You'd be stupid if you're again. All right. So Mahrez, another example. You knew whether you liked it or not, whether it was going to be.
But come on, bro. We can't talk. Hold on, bro. Respectfully and no disrespect to Mahrez. Yeah, no disrespect whatsoever to Mahrez. But Mahrez to Manchester City is not Salah to Liverpool.
No, he's not. But to the Saudi market and to the Saudi ecosystem of what they're trying to build, he is an ideal profile player for them. So of course he's not the biggest marquee. Yeah. But regardless, a team in Saudi that have got the funds to be able to facilitate a deal like that would have Mahrez all day. So they would, when they're making their 20-man, 30-man, these are the big boys. These are the names that are going to get eyes watching our league. Mahrez was on that list in the same way Salah was on that list. As a City fan, you know full well, as soon as they knock, the writing is on the wall. And that's it.
Mahrez, 100%. Listen, maybe not so with Bernardo, because Bernardo wasn't. But yeah, with Mahrez and Salah, 100%, bro.
And this is what I'm saying. Mahrez was done in a way that it was at the beginning of the window, so that if you needed to make the moves that you want to make, you could still do it and you could still facilitate, as we'll move on to. You've got your next kid in now. You had the money, you can go and do it. They're not going to be able. They're not going to pull the rug from under Liverpool. Let's be honest. The Saudi clubs have disrupted Liverpool's transfer market enough this transfer window. They've done that enough.
No, they haven't. They need to do it some more.
No.
You know what I was going to say though, Errol.
Calm.
I was going to say, Errol. It's funny. These heritage clubs, they're losing their players, right? I thought heritage meant a lot. Last week there was a big conversation about heritage. You know, there was last week.
So did I.
All I kept hearing that, you know, Arsenal can't do this and that because heritage, but now certain players are wanting to leave a club. So listen, maybe heritage isn't so heritaging. So you know,
can I come back on that point?
I don't know. But
you know what, Lee? Let me ask you a question, Lee. Let me ask you a question, Lee. When you're looking at the situation with Moises Caicedo and Lavia and the fact that they're lacking ambition, and you look at the fact that this season they're probably not going to win the Premier League, is Mo Salah starting to realise what Liverpool are now, and that he's maybe considering?
Can I just say, on this very show, 3-4 weeks ago, we started the show, I think 3 weeks ago. I want to say, people need to start giving me my flowers. I don't think that he believes in the project. People need to start giving me I need my flowers. I know people don't like me. People think I'm Lee Gunner. I'm not Lee Gunner. I'm Gooner Lee. So please don't.
And they still don't like you.
And they still don't like me. But listen, please, people need to understand. I know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, it ain't all rosy over there, man. Listen, Liverpool, it's a great club. as much as I love to banter them, they made my life, they made my summer because they beat Spurs in the Champions League final. And listen, I'm never ever going to come at them in a funny way like that, as much as I like to banter them. But listen, man, I'm being serious. I look at the manager. I think manager needs to take a lot of responsibility. He wanted to keep James Milner. He wanted to keep Henderson. He should have done these things a season and a half ago. And maybe the club wouldn't be in this position where Mo Salah is now thinking, do you know what? We're muddied, or we're not doing so well. We can't get this player. We can't get that player. And maybe, just maybe, you would have been in a bit of a better position. And again, I'm not putting it all on him because maybe the owner needs to take some responsibility as well. But I'm just saying, I called this 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I kept saying this. So people need to start listening, man. People need to start looking into it closely.
I hear what you're saying, but it's hard when the context is Salah going to Saudi. If this was Real Madrid or a Bayern coming in, I'd fully be like, yeah, it's what you're saying. There's probably a lot of truth in it, or there's an element of truth to it. But the fact that it's the Saudi thing and it's the cultural thing, it's how the status that he'll get, it's the money. I'm like, I can't blame Liverpool for losing or potentially being in a position where we'd have to sell to Salah. At the end of the day, the model has always been, from SSG's perspective, if we're going to rebuild in a certain way, there has to be an element of sell to buy. So at some point, our highest asset player in that respect is still Salah. So from our end,
but that's not true though. You're not sell to buy though. That isn't actually true.
That's the model they prefer to operate with.
But you can't say that's the model because it's not. That isn't, because they don't sell to buy. It isn't.
But the fact is, when they want,
you don't sell players to buy players.
But when they want to reinvest within the playing squad, they sell players in order to do that.
Oh, of course, because they don't invest their own money. That's what I was going to say. This is, to a certain extent, sorry, can I just say something real quick? Someone in the comments said, Daps, you didn't see that at all. You're talking absolute waffle. I can read this to you, yeah? It says, and it's from Transfer News Live, which is blue ticks. I mean, listen, I'm not that active on Twitter, so I don't know which ones are great, which ones are not. But it says, Al Ittihad and Mo Salah have reached an agreement on a 3-year contract, 240 million net in total. The clubs
Where's it sourced from?
Hold on. I'll show you it in a second. The clubs have been discussing for a few hours. Salah will not force his departure and is ready to stay if Liverpool refuse to sell. So, obviously, I'm not coming on trying to slander Liverpool. I'm just telling you what I saw. So, it's from Transfer Deadline Day Live, Transfer News Live, this Sports Zone, I believe it is. Them.
Oh yeah, right? They're credible, yeah.
Yeah. So, so I don't come on here waffling and saying I've seen things that I haven't seen. Let alone if I was going to do that, I wouldn't say, but Salah is going to kind of keep to his word and say, no, I'm not going to push the thing. What I was going to say is the only thing that I did think had a tiny bit of legs on this is that FSG at the moment, you could say they're under the hammer, yeah? Like the Liverpool fans are on them. I think Klopp will be on them to spend money. And this could be a godsend to them because right now they're thinking, oh, God, are we actually going to have to reach in our pocket or are we going to have to get a loan out and spend some dough? If they get offered the right money, they could do a rebuild like they did with Coutinho money. They could think, you know what, Salah's 31. Let's take, if they get offered 150 million, they could think, what could we do with 150 million that could make us good and make the fans happy for a couple of seasons?
But this is the point I was making about Mahrez before. The way that was planned and orchestrated allowed City to then still operate to buy an adequate or a replacement that can step into those boots at some point. It might not hit the ground running straight away, but who knows? You've got a replacement through the door. Liverpool aren't afforded that opportunity right now. If we was to just say, right, he's up for sale and we're willing to negotiate and work out a fee, Liverpool would then spend the rest of this window. Do you know how long it took us to negotiate my man's contract the extension last year? It would take us the rest of this window now to wrap up a deal for him, which leaves us money, but no time to bring in an adequate replacement. And that's not to say that there is adequate replacement out there to actually then bring in. So I agree with everything that you've all said about, the timing of these things from a Lee's perspective of letting certain people go and Klopp taking responsibility. I agree, Daps. Yep, there's the elements that, he's up for a move. I agree with what Pete was saying. But essentially, if it's going to happen, the most feasible thing to let it happen would be Just work for us one more season and then go with everybody's grace. You will go, you'll be a legend, and everybody will sing your praises on the way out. But if you go now,
would that change your mind about Salah though? Would that change your mind about Salah though? Like, would you think of him differently if you went now?
I've already told you, bro. If right, so let me give you this context, okay? He stays this season. He gets us back into the Champions League. We finish within the Champions League places. We go on to win the Europa League. He's won everything he could possibly win at this club. And then he's going to a place and probably one of the clubs there that are going to fulfill him more than any club in Europe possibly could. How could I begrudge him? As a big man thing, bro. Like, yeah, go on.
Let me ask you a question though. Listen. When I'm asking you this question, you know me, I love to banter Liverpool, but I actually want you to answer this and try and really, really think about this. And this is a serious question. What is Liverpool's project? Like, what do you how do you identify Liverpool's project? Because right now, I say, look, Arsenal,
Endo, man, that's their project. Endo.
Yeah, we know. With Arsenal, we know their project.
I was going to Endo.
Newcastle, we know their project. Man City, their project is Pep. Man United, maybe a little bit of ambiguity with that one, but still, there's something there where people might look up to it and say, yeah, there's a project going on there. Spurs, they got Ange, that's their project. What is Liverpool's project? What is it with Liverpool? Because right now I see a mishmash of players. I see some old players, and then I see some young players, and then I've got some, I've got 5 or 6 players up front. I've got the Nunes factor. I've got Jota, who's just been there. It just Gomez is still there. Then you've got you've got Van Dijk and you've got Matip still there, but then you've got Konate. Like, I don't actually know what Liverpool's identity and what their project is. So what do you look at Liverpool right now, and how do you identify them? Because for me, I can see why Mo Salah is probably thinking, okay, cool, look, the money, listen, let's not be stupid. The money's obviously going to entice him to go. I'm not going to be dumb enough to say that. Yeah. But I'm also going to say, I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen with Liverpool. They're going to have a bad season, and everybody's going to put it on Mo Salah. You know why? Because, this came up at the start of the season, and he's not doing this, he's not doing that, he's going to go a run of... it happens all the time. So for me, I'm asking you, what do you look at Liverpool, and how do you identify them as a project?
The simple answer for that
question.
No, it is. It's a very good question, and I think from a last year that was more of a prevalent question, because I thought we was more in limbo last year than this year. What I would say in terms of an actual project is this is the full Klopp 2.0. And when I say 2.0, when he first came in, he had to get rid of players and identify the players that he didn't want and that were actually going to be fit for purpose within his system. He did that. He got rid of them. Then he realized very quickly that there was a couple of extra players within that starting 11, maybe around the fringes. We probably had about 13, 14 players that were of a certain level. However, in terms of that starting level, we were short of a recognizable DM. We were short of a stalwart of a centre half. And then we was short of a goalkeeper. And so as a result of that, Klopp knew that there was things that had to change. What then ultimately changed from a Liverpool's perspective, and depending on how much is what you might know over the years, we sold Coutinho, and instead of having that creative flair player that are drifting off the left-hand side and create goals or shoot and score from outside the box, we then became a fullback, a side where our fullbacks were our driving force in terms of creativity. So the middle of the park was an engine room, and they was, industrious. He was workhorses, work hard, and the creativity and the spark came down the back. We solidified the spine of the team, and that was the team that kind of galvanized us to the heights that you've seen Liverpool reach. What's then happened is that it's become an aging squad. So now, as a result, Klopp has had to revert back to type to say, right, the body of what we got still works, but now I need to re-add new youthful legs within this squad, so that at some point he's only going to be here till I think it's 2026 maybe. If he stays and was to see out his entire contract, I think his actual vision is to be in a position where the next, when I say 2.0, are in their prime. So whoever then picks up the reins has a fully functioning forward line of at least 3 individuals. Midfield that is of a different ilk than the midfield we had, with a little bit more creativity. We have a little bit more stability across the back line, and the keeper situation is the one at that point, which for me would be left unanswered, because who knows what will happen in Alisson in 2 to 3 years' time, if his head gets turned, if he wants a different challenge or what. But hopefully it means that there's only probably 2 to 3 positions at max that would need to be reinvested in the event that Klopp leaves. So right now we're in a rebuild stage of 2.0.
I love all this. I love all this stuff. I'm not gonna lie. All this 2.0, and I had
Well,
who was it?
Because Klopp's never.
I had a 3.8 the other day with Summit.
No,
But what are we in? What are we in at City, by the way? Is this just still one? It's just Pep phase one. Still.
Well, Pep's things just constantly evolved over time. He's just went out and got it. We've built 2 teams. We've built literally 2 sides with Klopp, and Klopp normally goes after he builds one side. So that's why I'm saying 2.0.
Shouldn't your side just slowly transition and just like players leave and players come in?
Well, it typically would if you had a manager that doesn't normally just do 7-year stints and do a project in 7 years and then fuck off. So the first part of the 7 years that Klopp's done, he's achieved everything he needed to achieve with a set team. Now he's got to rebuild that team because that team is aging and bringing new players that can reach those heights. It's about getting back to where we
so
was.
Like Pep's done at City, but just consistently. He hasn't split it into phases. It's just one thing.
That's what works for you. That's what works for you. But
how's 2A working for? Phase 2 working for you at the moment?
Right now, it's a work in progress.
We just started. Are we only a month in?
We started last season. When Mane left, that was when shit started, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway.
Yeah. When you look at Klopp, though, when he had his second team at Dortmund, it didn't really go well, did it? And it started to kind of fall apart in that aspect. You know what I mean? And are we seeing that with Jurgen Klopp in terms of he's not getting his Caicedos? He's not getting tactically. Is he still? Go on, sorry.
That's what I'm interested to see, bro, because it's still, I've said it to Pete for a number of weeks now. Right now, where Liverpool are at, there are more questions than answers. So you can ask me all these questions, but I'm just going to shield them off and just tell you how I see it. And I'll tell you straight, I'll shoot from the hip, bro. I will call him out when I feel he needs to be called out, but equally, I will tell you if I haven't got the answers, bro, I haven't got the answers.
So you've got a gun with that shield then. So it's not just a shield, you got a gun below it as well. Okay.
So you kind of answered it. I mean, I don't actually blame you. And again, I'm going to be honest, bro. I think you were just chatting shit because you don't know what your project is. But I don't blame you. I actually don't blame you. I identified where we was.
You know what?
I don't know how you can say that. You're trolling because I've identified where you.
Bullshit, though. I'm not saying you're bullshit. I think you're bullshitting because of the fact that your project. I just don't get it. I don't see what Liverpool are actually doing. I don't understand. I don't see where they're trying to add pieces together properly. I think some of their players are overrated, and every team does that. So fine, but I really just think that your answer was basically crap because you just can't really answer it in the way that you can and you should do. But listen, fair game. But do you actually still believe in Klopp? Do you? Because
of course I do, bro. What you're failing to forget is obviously as a Liverpool fan who watches us most weeks, week in, week out, right? The reality is I've seen how we have changed our approach to getting results and being a dominant team. That has changed. So if you're telling us that we played the same way in the last 12 months as we've played 3 years ago, I will tell you that that's bullshit. So now you're asking me, well, what are you going to do moving forward? And I'm telling you, to move forward now, there are more pieces in this puzzle that Klopp still hasn't fitted into it yet. But that's part of what is this rebuild period. And as a rebuild, what I would consider 2.0, as he's going again, he's going to go for another charge of building another squad capable of taking it to City.
I know that.
The time to do that, and that is the project. Build a team that is capable of going back towards where City have been and taking it back to them. That's the top and bottom of it. That's the simple answer.
Who's got the best project, you reckon, in the Premier League right now? I know. Listen, Brighton are in there, Newcastle are in there. You got Arsenal for me, who they need to start winning things. It's all well pointing your fingers at Liverpool. You know, I need to start winning things and showing that, you know what, you can compete with the big boys. But when you look at this panel...
The saddest thing is, a lot of you, man, especially because you aren't Liverpool fans, but you don't realise that Klopp's actually got credit in the bank because he's a winner. He's won things with us. So the fact that you're now saying you're sticking your chest out and being like, well, what's the project? Worry about your own fucking project more time. Because
No,
what else-
I agree with you, Errol. I agree with you, Errol, 100%. But
Well, we don't have a project, so
No,
yeah,
no,
I mean,
no,
that's
listen,
the-
Errol,
that's
we're
the
just
point.
here.
It's easy to
I
point the
mean,
fingers, though. It's
we're
easy
just
to
here.
point the fingers. Apart from
No,
that,
no.
a lot
I
of
agree.
you, man, need to worry about your own project because
I
our
100.
team has got
Nah,
credit
name
in the
names,
bank.
innit? Name names. Is it me?
No,
Is
no,
it
listen.
Lee? Who is it?
Bro, Saeed, you know your thing's dead in the water right now. It's like a
No, we're
mule,
dead.
bro.
We're dead. We're dead. Yeah. All right. Say no more. Go on. Who else?
I 100% agree with you, Errol. 100%. I do think that, and listen, I don't think people like. I don't think he's triggered. I don't think he's waffling in that regard. I do think that he's actually said straight facts. All I'm saying is, really and truly, every dog has his day. And unfortunately, I just don't. As I've said to you, I don't believe in Klopp. I don't believe in some of your players. I don't think that you're the team that you were. And that's obviously normal because people move on, teams get better around you. And some of your players that were good, like a Matip, they just turn out to be a little bit more, over the hill now. Joe Gomez, listen, I'm going to say it every single week.
3. We've drained every ounce
That's
of
fine,
quality
but
out of that
it
guy.
doesn't matter. I'm not talking about price tag. All I'm saying in general terms is the players that were at a certain level is that they're just not there no more. And listen, when we get onto Arsenal, I'll say the same stuff as well. I'm not hiding from anything, but because we're talking about Liverpool, that's what we're sticking on. Like, so when it comes to the Arsenal segment, I'm sure we're gonna, you're gonna put the same questions at me. And
Before we
rightly
go
so.
to you, Lee. Let me ask Daps and Pete, because I feel like for me they're the strongest out of us three. Yeah, sorry, the rest of the three in terms of their projects. And by the way, there's over 1,000 people here. We've not even hit 500 likes. I don't know what you got. We're giving you a proper debate here, and you man ain't liking the video. Come on, people, man. I know you're immersed into the conversations, but hit the like button. It helps the channels out. But let me go to Pete before I go to Daps. Who do you look at? Are you afraid, Pete? When you look at the projects right now, you look at Liverpool maybe crumbling in that aspect. Arsenal obviously there and thereabouts, but who do you see on that level, or do you think you could get towards Liverpool's now and catch us up?
I'll be honest with you. I see he's in the mix with Liverpool. We proved that last season. We were in that mix right until the end of the season. So why would I not see us in that mix? Because Liverpool haven't gone up a level, which I thought that they would. They may still. I don't know. But I see us definitely at that level. The ones that I worry about, if I'm honest with you, of course, Man City. I'm sure we'll talk about the game briefly on Saturday. They are a quality side. Doesn't matter who plays. They are so good individually, collectively, tactically. Everything is perfect about them, and I genuinely. This is 2 games in. I genuinely can't see a team that's going to stop them this season. I can't. So they're a team that I worry about, and Arsenal. Arsenal are building nicely. They are building nicely. You know what? I thought Arsenal were going to win the league. Then they dropped off around sort of February time, and they started to drop off a little bit. And I thought Man City are going to do it. And my question was, and Errol, you know this because I put this to Pops week after week after week last year. I said, what's going to happen next season? Because in my mind, I thought Arsenal were going to fall away. It was their season to win it, and they didn't, and they were going to fall away. But honestly, they look like they're built to stay. They're built to stay and push, and I can see them pushing. I can't see them winning the league, but I can see them pushing again, Man City. So they're a team that I worry about. Other than that, I don't see anyone that I'm genuinely worried about in terms of a project. Brighton have got a great project, but with Brighton, they sell their best players and they just regurgitate the same thing again. They get their young talent in for cheap, they build them up, sell them for big, and do exactly the same again. And when you do that, look how many great teams in sort of middle to bottom end of the Premier League over the year that have been built at certain clubs and been decimated. And it happens time again. Southampton were one of them. Liverpool, your club benefited from a lot of them for a period of time.
Yeah.
But it can only happen for a certain amount of time. There's only so long that can happen before teams get wise to it, stop plucking those players away from Brighton that Brighton were getting for cheap, or they have to stop paying more money, bigger fees for these players. and then it starts to even itself out. And Brighton, for all their great football, have too many downturns in the season. And this is when they were down in the bottom end of the season, bottom end of the league. They'd have great moments, but then would have dip-offs. So I would say they're maybe just below us. Villa are a good project.
Yeah, Villa. Yep.
Villa are building. They've got a fantastic manager. They've brought some great players. Moussa Diaby, if you don't know about him, watch out for him because he's going to tear up the Premier League this season. He is a quality player. And I do wish, I'm more than happy with Harvey Barnes, but I wish, we'd have got him for the right side of our midfield because he'd have been perfect replacement for Miggy. They're the kind of teams that I'm looking at. Your Man City's, your Arsenal's, Brighton to an extent, but Villa, they're the teams that I think can genuinely, as a project, build and do something. I'll just say on Liverpool really quickly, is that you built your team to win the league, the Champions League, and you did your bit with the likes of Mane, Firmino, Salah, and one or two others. And I'm just at this point now where the players that you brought in to replace them, I'm not convinced that they're going to get to that level. I'm not.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
much. Good player. But can he be a Mane? I'm not quite sure. Darwin Nunes, good player. Can he be a Firmino and make the difference in the big moments? I'm not sure. I could be wrong. You're looking at some of the players, Konate, good centre-back. Can he be a replacement to hold the forts for a Virgil van Dijk in a couple of years' time when he when he properly gets into his 30s and really starts to slow down? I'm not sure. And this is the thing, is that you want those players, like we said about Man City. Man City have gone in there and they've got the real deals in, and they've got the replacements in. They've had the Yaya Toures, the Silvers go, the Agueros go. Aguero goes, what did they do? Haaland, and get them in. They've gone and replaced this big. And that's the difference. And that's why I don't see Liverpool getting to that level, because I'm looking around and Szoboszlai, he's a talented boy. But are you going to put it all on him? Because I don't see anyone else around that's going to take you and make you that
spot on
to challenge again. That's just that's my opinion.
Spot on. We're going to move over to Man City. Big up to everybody who's still here. 1,000 people in the building. Man City Daps. Where should we start? Let's start with Doku announced. Big money. I think it's 58 million, is it, or something like that?
50,
let me check.
I think it's 58 million, no add-ons. It's just a straight. This one, it's just a quite simple, straight 58. I think something like that. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to be 100. Right. I can't come on here and gas you about Doku because I haven't watched enough of him. I've heard good things. I've heard he's direct. He's young. He's hungry. That's all I want. Like, do I think Doku's going to come in and be a regular week in, week out? No, I don't yet. I think he's going to be given time. Very similar to Sane when Sane first joined us. I think what we're doing at the moment is, I think I could probably tell you who City's best 11 is right now. But what we're adding is we're adding younger players that offer new tools, offer a different, we've had Mahrez go, we've had Gundo go. So we're just, we're just doing exactly what a club should do ultimately. The biggest signing for me, look, Vardiol, people aren't talking on Vardiol much no more, but the biggest signing is the fact that Bernardo signed a contract renewal. And the funny thing is, instantly people have jumped on, oh, there's a release clause there. Yes, there is. And also, by the way, it was put as a 3-year extension or a 2-year extension. It was actually a 1-year extension, right? Because he was contracted till 2025. But the key was, the most important thing was to keep Bernardo Silva this summer and to keep him happy, to give him a bit of a pay rise and get him contracted where he's going to be 30 or 31 next year, 50 million release clause reportedly. But with Gundo going, with Kevin De Bruyne injured, it was very important we kept Bernardo at the club and happy, which is what we've done, right? We've brought in Vardiol. Mahrez is gone. We've brought in Doku, and I've heard we're bringing in 2 more players. We've brought in Kovacic as well to replace Gundogan. And here's the key. People are really, really focusing on, but is this player a replacement for this player? Is this player? Let's be real. You cannot replace Kevin De Bruyne, right? You can't. It's not possible, right? You can't really replace Gundogan. I was worried when Arsenal went in for Gundogan because I thought there's very few players out there that can do what he does with hitting the box at the right time, being great in front of goal, while also being able to be a midfielder, while also being able to be an experienced winner. We've gone and got different players and new tools to the box. And that's what Pep's doing. He's just getting new tools to the box. And actually, by the end of this transfer window, our squad is going to be deeper than it was last season. Because if you work it out and you look at who's gone, who's coming in, we're going to be deeper by the end of this transfer window than we were last season. So I'm happy, man. I'm very happy with where we are. And we just and there's people that have opinions on Doku. There's people that already have opinions on Eze, have opinions on Nunes. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. Me personally, as a City fan, I can't have a big enough opinion on these players yet because I need to see them play in the system, not for other teams, in the Pep system. But one thing I would say is I'm going to believe Pep Guardiola knows what he wants and his scouts know what he want far more than John, who does a podcast twice a week, right? I'm just going to believe that more. And I'm going to wait for them to cook. But over here, I'm happy. As far as just on the question is who I fear, should I say fear? I mean, firstly, the thing I fear most is that City don't perform to our level. But I went into this transfer window saying next season it will be Arsenal or Liverpool. Arsenal, because why not, based on last season? Yeah, why could they not go again? And Liverpool, based on the fact that they've got a manager that knows how to do it, and they've still got a fair few of the spine of their team. They've still got Alisson, they've still got Van Dijk, they've still got Robertson, they've still got Trent, they've still got Salah, right? But the key to it was the transfer window and what they're doing it. And if I'm being completely 100, to the outside, it would be very easy for me to come on here and say all day long, Arsenal have had a better transfer window than Liverpool, right? But when you go below the surface, I don't know if they have. Right? They did when Timber was fit. And I'm not celebrating the fact that Timber was injured. Trust me. Same with De Bruyne. But Timber's out for almost a season, in it.
Yeah, most of the season, yeah.
Right. So you take that. So you take that one away, unfortunately. And I do think Arsenal should go in and look for another player similar to that in this last week, but it's going to cost a bit. Then you look at Havertz, who's come in. Now, we won't get into a debate on Havertz, but a lot of Arsenal fans didn't rate Havertz till he signed for them, right? So are we going to say that's strengthening? We could do. And then Xhaka's gone and they've brought in Rice. So how much of Arsenal really strengthened this window? If you really break down the players, but if who I think will challenge us this season is Arsenal, because I just think Arsenal look better than Liverpool at the moment. They do, and you know they're tinkering at the moment. We can't judge Arsenal on these two games because this is Arteta seeing what works early on in the window, and then later on, what's that? We got Balogun money now. Is he gone then? Is Balogun gone?
No. I think they're waiting. They're waiting on the Balogun money. But when I go back to Lee, I'm gonna go back to you. When you look at them, Doku, Nunes, part of they're still interested in them ones. Have you done enough? Are you now looking at them thinking we can get at them? What's the feeling in the Arsenal camp?
I mean, I'm not going to speak for everyone. I'm going to speak for myself. I've said it. I think we're going to win the league. I don't think that Man City are a bad team. They've fallen off a cliff. Of course not. That's the stupidest thing ever. But I just think that Arsenal are showing that they're ready. I think we'll be able to do it. I'm not going to say it's a must, but I do think that we should be there or thereabouts by the end of the season. I don't think Man United should be there or thereabouts by the end of the season. I don't even think Liverpool, because if I'm saying that they're not good enough, then I'm not going to put the same expectation on them in terms of, that I think they should win it. But I still think that they should be challenging because they've got the equaliser who's Klopp. So that's my thing.
Lee, you just said that you think Arsenal look like they're ready.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why you think they're going to win the league over City. So could you tell me,
No.
please?
But you didn't let me finish, though. I was also going to.
No, you moved on to Liverpool. That's why. If you want to go back to that, we can go back to that.
In general, but I was also going to say.
So could you explain why they look like they're ready, but City don't? Could you explain that?
No, I didn't say. I didn't. Anyway, look,
you did say that.
I'm just going to say my point, and
we'll ignore it. Keep moving. Yeah, cool.
I'll just keep it moving. So I just think that we'll be able to do it. We'll get over the line. I don't rate the players that Man City have brought in. I don't think that everything's going to be hunky-dory for Man City. And as I've said to you, I just don't believe that a team's going to win the league 4 times in a row. I don't think the league's as bad as what people are making out. I do think that there are some the bottom half teams are quite poor, but I think Newcastle, I think they will be able to, put up a better fight against some of the other teams. I think Man United at home, there will be a little bit more of a fight in terms of these top 7-8 teams being able to put it towards Man City, and that's my point. And I think
and Arsenal also,
and Arsenal as well. Yeah,
yeah,
no, but I'm talking about my rival. I'm talking about my rival for the league is Man City.
No,
so
I'm just trying to work out why you're more ready than us. So we have to do it on both clubs, right? Not just one.
I'm looking at it very simplistically, and I'm just saying, look,
very simplistically. Agreed.
I'm not looking at it and saying, well, that Man City are gonna walk the league basically, because I don't think teams will be as fearful as them as they were last season, and that's it. And look, I can maybe agree in some respects that Arsenal don't have the strongest, strongest transfer window so far. But listen, man, like I think Arteta can't win. He tinkers and he does the Partey at right back. Then, what are we doing? What's he doing? But that's what Arsenal. That's what Saeed's been moaning about Arteta. He can't be tactically flexible. When he's tactically flexible, people don't like it.
No, man management, game management for me has been and decision making towards his end.
And listen. You look at that Crystal Palace game the other day. Rival fans, I saw. Why is Jorginho coming on? Perfect substitution. Why is
he deserves credit?
Perfect. So what I like about Klopp, what I like about Arteta, what I like about even Pep as well, is they learn from their mistakes. And that's what Arteta's shown week in, week out, season in, season out. If you look at his mistakes from the first season to now, he's got a lot better. People are going to say he's a copycat, whatever. Listen, whatever people want to label towards him, he's getting better and he's learning. And when I say that Arsenal seem ready, it doesn't take away from Man City. It doesn't. But I just think that Arsenal, as I said to you, I think they've looked at Man City's partying and celebrating, rightfully so, last season, and that's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them. And hopefully, I'm writing checks that they can cash. And that's it's not. This is my thing, though.
Just a quick question. It's a simple one. If you can do simple maths, you'll be able to tell me how many bites of the cherry has Arteta had at the Europa League.
He's had 2. No, 3. The first season he came, he got knocked out by.
He's had 3 bites at the cherry, and he's learned what, other than getting knocked out at knockout stages.
Penalties ain't easy, let alone at home.
I'm talking about.
He's a bottler.
So you're talking about Champions.
He's learned that the Emirates isn't a fortress after all.
Yeah, you made out that your gaffer learns from his mistakes. He's made a whole heap of mistakes in the Europa League, and each year he keeps rewriting them. So I'm just now he's going to step up. No, it was a simple question. You framed it as though my man learns from his mistakes. If that's the case, how many bites of the cherry has he had at the Europa League? You told me 3. So that tells me on 3 separate occasions with the same squad, or even more of the squad that he actually wants, he has failed to rectify the mistakes of previous seasons. A lie?
No, that's not the case. No.
All right, then. That's not the case.
No, it's not the case. It's not the case.
So you won the Europa League last year?
No, because you can't label every single thing at his door, can you?
No, did you get to the semi-final last year?
No, they got knocked out of their fortress.
You can't label every single thing.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm talking about the league because that's what you guys are talking about, right? So as I've said to you, I just believe Arsenal are going to win the league. As I said, you lot are getting butthurt because it feels like I'm taking away from Man City. No one's taking away from Man City. Why is it that Man City must be professed and be crowned as these champions that they are? But every season is different. This season is different.
Sorry, so can I just say, Lee, I just asked for a reasoning. All I did is it's a debate show. I just asked for a reasoning, and you haven't got a reasoning. You just think, which is fine. And I've settled, and we've moved on from that, right?
That's fine, yeah.
So we've moved on.
But no, that's all I'm saying. I'm saying that I think that Arsenal are going to be in a position that they're going to push Man City all the way. And listen, let the best team win. Let's just say that. And I think that Arsenal will be the team that will win. That's it.
Yeah. Now listen, it's going to be, and obviously Jesus is back from injury. That's
There you
some good
go.
news as well. You know what I mean? He's the facilitator. He's the guy who's the glue. I'm hearing he's the glue
You know,
now.
my thing
So
is right. My thing is like people keep talking about, oh yeah, like Daps. Listen, if you want to talk about people, what they're saying, Daps mentioned, oh, like yeah, anyone that they bring in that they're like, you know, he trusts them, but you don't trust Calvin Phillips, no, you don't trust Sergio.
Oh no, I
Gomez.
openly talk on that. I
All
openly
right, cool.
talk on them
So
fully. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so that's the case. So you don't believe.
Oh
in
yeah,
everything that,
no, agreed. But
that's wrong.
I had this conversation last year. Now again, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and I'll come on and say it. I've been very clear with Calvin Phillips that I don't think it's worked. But if that's all you've got, Lee, all I asked you, because you said that you thought that Arsenal look ready, right? So I thought, okay, well that must mean they look more ready than City. So I asked you a question.
No,
if you have no reasoning for it, that's perfectly fine. You know you've got that inner feeling that this year you're going to do it. So that's great.
What I'm saying is, you're getting like your back up against the wall because you think
I haven't got
taking
my
away
back
from
up at all, bro. I just asked a question.
No, I'm just saying that I believe that Arsenal seem ready. It doesn't mean that.
No, I agree.
It means that Arsenal
it.
coming up to Man City. Arsenal coming up to Man City. Man City aren't dropping down. That's not what I'm saying. That's my point. I'm saying that Arsenal are trying to climb above. That's it. So Man City, I don't feel like with Jeremy Doku, Nunes that you brought in, and
we haven't got Nunes yet, by the way.
Vardio,
Kovacic.
That was his name.
Let me wrap my head around this.
I don't see that as being. Oh
let
my
me wrap
God.
my head
You don't
around
see
it.
Vardy as a good signing, no? Okay, fair enough.
Let me wrap my head around this.
I don't see it like that.
So Man City aren't going to drop. Do you think your transfer business alone has done enough to bridge the gap? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. So all right. So bear with me.
They've got words. He said.
Transfer wise, so Man City are here. There's a bar just for everyone that just wants to see a little visual. Man City are here. They set the bar high. Arsenal fell just short of them last season, but already accepted that they haven't done enough transfer business in the market to take them to bridge that gap. So there's still a deficit there. Can you just bring it into focus? There's a little bit of a deficit right there. So now my question to you is, how do you propose to close? Is it just going to be pure vibes and coaching? What phase are we about to go into with Arteta now that is going to be the stardust that takes you, not from there, but to that's equal. That's basically finishing neck and neck with them. You need to go at least there in order to pip them to any title. Manifest that and brook it down. I'm a simple man. I am. I'm Scouse. You know, education up north sometimes when I ride. So I just need a broken down.
I said to you, I said that the first thing I said, but when I give you an answer, you don't like it. I said to you, I believe the manager. I said the manager's going to be, as I said, he learns from his mistakes. He's getting better. You didn't like that answer because you spoke about Europa League. So anything I give, you don't like. So as I've said to you, I believe between the players we brought in, Declan Rice is a big mover and barometer in that. I do think that Havertz will be able to do enough to make a difference. It doesn't mean he has to. It could be 1%, it could be 5%, it could be 50%. He'll do enough, and I do think the fact that Ray has come in and will hold Ramsdale accountable, that also makes a difference. And I think Jesus will hopefully do what he needs to do, which is do more than what he did last season. And as I said, those combination of those three, and including the manager, I think that there's enough for us to go above Man City. People don't believe it. People think I'm farcical. When I predicted Arsenal to finish 3rd/2nd, people last season, everyone thought I was farcical then. So listen, like I'm only going to back my team because of what I see. I'm not just nonsensically backing him. I'm backing him with what I believe and what I'm seeing. And as I said,
I just wanted to hear that reasoning, Lee. That was all. I just wanted to hear the reason.
One of the main issues is that people kept.
Oh, fucking hell, can't do it. There we go.
One of the main issues is that people kept saying that Arteta he's not tactically flexible. He's showing that, and people are still moaning. So we can only just wait and see now, because if I give you all these reasons, no one's going to believe it because you're only going to go off this conjecture.
No, Lee, but Lee, I agree with you with what you're saying. Look, last season, at the start of last season, Pep was tinkering with our defense and playing loads of different partnerships at the back. And I said the reason he's doing this is because you want to do that between August and December. You don't want to be tinkering with no defense for the first time in January, February, March. Arteta's doing that 100%. And even like the game the other day, we can try and look at it and say, oh, they didn't perform that well. Ultimately, Arsenal have got 6 points this season, right? And yes, he's been tinkering. They've been without Jesus. I'm not knocking Arsenal at all, right? I've said I think Arsenal will challenge City this season. I just literally asked you a question because I thought you had the answers. I just wanted you to, I didn't want you to come here and give a 2-second answer and then go, and that's it. I wanted to hear your reasoning. I've heard your reasoning now, so we can
I've got
move
super
on.
chat
And
here.
no one's rattled.
Big up to super chat from Rajaf says, okay, 3.5 seasons over and won just an FA Cup. What has Arteta learned? If it were in any other big club, he would have been sacked a long time ago. Shows the standards of Arsenal keeping him still. I'm not gonna lie to you.
4 trophies in 12 weeks, by the way. Imagine that.
I don't. You can go with the whole show standards, but Arsenal weren't. How many more times do you want me to? Arsenal weren't at the levels of Man City. We had to go through these bad times to get to the point where we are now. So people are going to say the same thing. Hold on, right now. Yeah, last season, Ten Hag won a trophy, but what does he look like he's doing now? He actually looks like he's regressing in some respect, but no one's going to say that.
It's 2 games. It's 2 games, though.
Yeah, no, but you're right. But Saeed, you've been doing 5 streams a day talking about Ten Hag, and you're upset with him. So it's not just 2 games, because if that was the case, you wouldn't be moaning.
You got body.
You got absolutely. You got hold on. You got absolutely.
He's rattled, isn't it? He's rattled.
Hold on. You got absolutely.
It's 2 games in the season. Versus 4 years and 1 trophy. Your manager's been there 4 years and 1 trophy. The facts are there. My man has been there 1 year and 1 trophy. It's not bad. It's not a bad ratio.
Okay, cool. It is fact. No, it isn't a bad ratio. So if that's the case, why are you moaning, Saeed?
What do you mean why am I moaning? Because you know why? My standards are high. Man United should expect to win trophies. But you're saying, you know what? He's not got his players in and he's time. Well, this is what you need to do.
What do you mean? I've said that we need to win. I want to win the league, and we should win the league. That's what standards.
And if he doesn't, does he need to be sacked? If he doesn't, does he need to be sacked?
Well, depends.
No.
But no, I'm gonna say no. But it depends how the season plans out and trans out. But no, I'm not stupid enough to say that. But come on, you can't say that you're not.
Okay. What if he doesn't win a trophy? What if he won a trophy? Does he deserve to be sacked?
If he does what? Sorry.
If he doesn't win a trophy this season, another season of no trophy, does he deserve to be sacked?
Bro, I have to see. I don't know. I can't say right now, bro.
What do you mean you don't know, man? Bro, this is another year of you spending a lot of money.
Bro, I can't just sit here and say that.
But that's what I'm saying to you then. So that's not for me. You're not acknowledging Arsenal's shortcomings. If there's a standard to win trophies, for me, if there's no standard to win no trophy, then a manager should be looked at and be like, you know what?
No, you're conflating 2 different things. There is a standard, but you're asking me if he doesn't win these things, then what happens? And I'm saying to you, I have to see if he goes out in the first round of every single cup and then he finished 10, 15 points behind Man City. Of course, there's going to be questions, and I'm going to probably say, look, it needs to be. He might be our Brendan Rodgers, but if he goes far in every competition and he finishes,
spoiler alert, he is.
And okay, that's fine. And listen, okay, if he's that's fine.
Okay.
That's what you believe. Cool. The same way how I feel like Klopp's over the hill now. So that's it. That's my opinion, and that's your opinion. So that's it. We keep it moving. But ultimately, I'm not going to sit here and say that Arteta needs to go out, leave, because everything needs to be contextualized. The same way how you, Saeed, you're the same one that keeps talking about Arteta, but you're there crying on every single stream. They're saying, "Oh,
no, I'm not. I'm calling the manager out. I'm calling the manager out. I'm having standards."
But yeah, okay, but see, Saeed, I can guarantee you. Okay, hold on. I'll ask you then. If he doesn't win anything after spending £400-500 million, do you want him out?
Questions. There's questions. There's questions have to be asked.
So I'm saying exactly the same thing. I'm saying exactly.
But also we are second year, and yours is now. Was it 5th year now?
It doesn't matter.
Is it though? Yes or no?
You know what it is?
Is it though? Yes or no? Though.
Hold on. It is. You know what it is?
Again, you're not answering the question, then, innit?
That's it. That's it. It's literally just one of one and one of the other. 2 years, 5 years, 6 years, 1 year. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, your manager has been managing for like 10 years. He's been under the tutelage of Pep. He's been winning in a previous league. He's come here and he looks worse than what he did ever before. He's buying players that are bummy. He spent £100 million on Anthony, and he's got you crying at the wheel every single day. So what do you want me to do?
Listen, don't. And by the way, yeah, the comments are overwhelmingly against you. There has to be something at the end of the season. So I don't know what it is you're seeing in Arteta, and maybe good luck to you. Maybe this is what the standards Leeds has become. But ultimately, what I want from my manager is a. Sorry.
I think he can do it. Like I think that football's changed now, and you can't just sack managers. If you're seeing something, you can't sack them. That is why Arteta does sometimes, maybe because he looks good in some people's eyes. Some people think, oh, because he's actually, you see something tangible. The reason why you're complaining about Ten Hag is because you see nothing. And that's why you can't hold on to it. That's
No. I see something. I see something.
No, you don't.
No, hold
That's
on a
why
minute.
you're moaning about him
Hold on a
week in
minute.
and week out.
Listen, no. But the thing is, again, what moaning and criticizing the manager are two different things. Moaning also means that you care and you see a lot from Ten Hag. But again, I expect standards from my manager. That's what it is. It's the standards that I know you can get, but we're not achieving it.
That was deflection at its finest. You've just been drawn in and not real quick, man.
I'm not been drawn in. Tell me how I've been drawn in. Tell me how I've been drawn in. Tell me how I've been drawn in.
Saeed, your manager has got a record against, I believe, the top 6 clubs of 30.
Away from home, not good enough.
You can go to top 9. You can go to top 9.
Come on,
top
Saeed,
9, yeah,
come
top
on.
9.
You can't talk to me about my manager. I'm sorry, you can't. My manager.
But I can though. I can talk to me about your manager though.
And
my manager has done well in the past year than your manager's done.
And
all right,
your
so
manager,
one big question. One big question.
That's what I can say. My manager has done something more than your manager in the last year. After spending how much you spent.
Mandem, one question.
After having the Premier League experience,
because
but go on.
Because pressure comes in different forms. Out of the 5 of us here, whose manager is under the most pressure this season to deliver? That is the goal.
Arteta.
100%. Arteta. If anybody doesn't say Arteta, that's crazy. Arteta. Before we kind of wrap things up, it is Arteta.
Okay. That's my manager. I'm saying Arteta, but I'm still saying that Man United, you're in a position that you need to do something.
We also have expectations. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Spot on.
Man United are a bigger club than Arsenal. That was my first starting
Say
point.
that again.
Man United, Liverpool. That's why Man United are a bigger club than Arsenal. Of course they are. You got bigger fans. You got bigger stadium. You got more. You spend more money. You make more money. These are all tangible things. Same thing. Probably you could level at Liverpool as well. Same thing. No problems. I'll hold my hand up to that. But I'm also going to say, with that, all of those things, you have more expectations. So straight away, you can't sit there and say that you haven't been upset and these things, and you're not happy with the way football you're seeing. You're not happy with the results. Because why? Because you know that there's nothing to hold on to. That's just the facts. That is the reason why you're doing this. Nah, Saeed, man.
There is something. But just to kind of wrap it up, yeah, and I want to reiterate, there should be an expectation for Manchester United every single season to finish high as they can in the league. Listen, right now, I don't think we're going to win the league. And to also win a trophy. I don't care if it's the Carabao Cup, I don't think it's the FA Cup, I don't care, whatever it is. There has to be an expectation for Manchester United to win a trophy. And if they don't deliver at the end of the season, then questions have to be asked of the manager. It's as simple as that, man. If you don't have that outlook, especially the top clubs, again, Newcastle are working, progress, and hopefully they'll have that expectation soon. But there should be expectations. If you're just saying, "Oh, it's a project," it's just a project, and it don't matter, then I'm sorry, man. That's where, for me, your club is lost. But anyway, people, it's been a very, very good debate. Big up to everybody who's here. 1,000 people here in the building, and I don't think we've even hit 500 likes. Let me just check right now. 447 likes, guys. Hit the like button. 53 more people right now. Hit the like button, people, man. Pete, been a pleasure, man. Thank you for coming on.
Pleasure, guys. I've got to shoot because I've got a show at 7:30. Unloaded, man. But you boys kill me, man. Honestly, absolute jokes. Honestly, it's absolute jokes. But you know what? Love the opinions, love the conversation, love the debate all round. It's what makes this show what it is. So look, I'm gonna bounce, but pleasure as always, boys.
Big up, man.
Take care.
I'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, coming for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Bring it.
You wait. Take care, boys. Yep.
Take care, man. Take care. Big up to you. Make sure you follow their channel, Loaded Mag. Big up to you, Errol, mate. Thanks for coming on, my mate.
Pleasure, bro. Pleasure. Yeah, big up the chat as well. The chat's been on fire tonight. So yeah, I think this sometimes when you just jump on a Thursday after work, yeah. Oy, I look forward to these things, man. You give me life. So yeah, big up everybody in the chat and big up the panel as well every single time.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Big up to you, man. Guna Lee, it's been a pleasure as always. Even though the chat always say you waffle, but It's all good, man. It's all blessed.
Listen, man, I'm going to be here next week, 3 wins in a row, man. Same like Man City. So I can't speak for Liverpool or Man United on that, but such is life.
Yeah, definitely. Such is life. Daps, big up to you, my guy.
I love
Never
for
a
having me
foul.
on. People, we're 22 likes away, so please, please, please. All I'm going to say is just keep smashing that like button. If you can get it to 500, that's going to help the show afterwards. It will push it out to other people. So please just keep hitting that like button.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I
That
said,
was a mad comment.
it's helped
What
the
the hell was
algorithm.
that?
I don't know. I don't even meant to click that, man. I don't know what was
You need
that,
to
man.
get dash from the chat. This one, I don't know who it is, but it needs to be dashed.
Yeah, man. You need to chill, man. It's catfish, Moving catfishes in the comments. Listen, big up to everybody. It's a clean chat. It's a good vibe. Like I said to you, next week, I think it's the Champions League draw. So we might be live, we might not be live, but we'll see what we could do.
I might
Depends
be
on
in
what time the
Manchester
draw.
this time next week as well,
All right, okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, sweet. Then we'll see if we can link up, man. But big up to everybody who's here. Leave the like on the video. And like I said, I think I'll be back at 11, people. I think I might be back, but we'll see. But take care, guys.